Hello everyone, it's Glider. We're jumping back into the glider cage in oxygen not included. We're going to finally finish up some projects to clear up some labor so maybe we can figure out our oxygen situation. At the moment we have almost 8 tons of algae, so we don't have a day by day or cycle by cycle emergency. But that being said, we do need a long-term solution. Let's see here. I do not know where we would find the rust we've harvested. That was not anything that's ever been an item the last few times I've played, so... Industrial ingredient? Palkshall malt. Huh. Okay, so my suspicion is we've not harvested any yet. So where is the rust? The rust is over here. The rust is up here. And the rust is over here. So we could use this area to enter in a rust biome. We just need to clean the oxygen so that we won't die by trying to visit. And I think we'll be okay. Hold on, no. Let's get all this dug out. So here's the plan. We're going to dig this out, create the basin for this water to flow into, gather up any last algae we're able to. Then we're going to dump this, and then we'll start digging in here to collect rust. Oh, and some free ethanol. That's nice. Thinking of ethanol. Yeah, I was like, does this dump on the floor? Because if it does, we've made mistakes. Ooh, we're up to 5 mushrooms. That's great. Research is chucking along. Alright, so what else have we been up to? Our reservoir for water is nearly full, so that's kind of crazy. So... how hot is it over here? It is a balmy 54, as opposed to 82, so it's not the worst situation ever. So let's go ahead and dig this out. We'll just try to make sure this doesn't overflow before... because once it reaches this level, like, we haven't built anything in here to utilize it, so we'd be flooding the base to get back in here, so I want to get anything done in here we can, right? Lickety-split. So we're going to peel these layers off, then we're going to peel these layers down. We're probably going to ask somebody to brave the scalding hot waters here to build a pump. We won't build it all the way down. I'm not a heartless person. We'll just get all this infrastructure done so that if it does flood, it won't be the end of the world to try to access this. Let's hit all that down there with some really high priority. Oh, they can't get down there. That's why they never finished that sections. They can't get down there either. Yeah, they are getting scalded, which is a debuff, so that's unfortunate. I'm sorry, folks. So let's see what scalding really does here. Oh, 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 oh. Heat stroke. Negatives to science, machinery, construction, and food. Light wounds. It's athletics. So if we build a med bay, they're taking physical damage. So if we build a med bay, we can heal that. Or we can let it heal up on its own. They're having trouble finding oxygen in here. So we can cancel a couple of these tiles so that we can actually build this from below. Perfect. So we'll tell them not to take that tile out. Okay. We're just about done in here. Fully insulated, so we'll stop leaking heat into parts of our base. Or edges of our base, anyhow. No parts of our base. I want to make this a full part of the base over here. Okay, so I'm going to turn these off now. Catalina is nearly dead. That's how much damage she's taken. Those folks don't seem to care about the water they're in, so that's cool. They eat polluted dirt and rot piles. They excrete sand. Their shells can be crushed into lime. Not a bad critter. Okay, so they got all the infrastructure done in there. So push come to shove, we've done a lot. So we took some damage, but now we don't have to do it later when it will flood the base with this hot water again, like it did before. Okay, so at this point, I think we're just gonna place this layer with mesh tile so they can still get around. We're gonna hit this now with some priority. So focuses for this episode are definitely going to be just kind of complete every blueprint we've already made. We're just going to shore these things up here. And then we're going to start exploring this rust biome to see if we can't start some oxygen production. So this might be the end of this episode or the very first part of next episode, but our 10 tons of algae should get us through, so I don't think we have to worry about oxygen. If not at the end of this episode, then at the end of the next one. We should be all set and ready to go for oxygen. So I'm going to dig up into there. I need that mushroom, and I want that buddy bud. All right. So we've got this CO2 well, and it is actually, for the most part, CO2, except that little bit of slime that's creating slime lung and polluted oxygen. So we're going to sweep that up post-haste. Yeah, we do now have slime lung in the base. We did not manage that as well as we could have. And it's in polluted oxygen, so it's going to continue to propagate. So we're going to have to manage that. Okay, some oxalate is free oxygen, so we'll take that. Okay, the slicksters have died, but they have left behind some meat for us to eat. Okay, we're not going to be creating any more polluted oxygen there. We do need some scaffolding in order to finish these areas. All right, getting this drained. And that does open up some more algae if we need to. This section is about as dense with algae as any we've found so far. Don't worry, that fish will flop around until it finds water. He's eating our algae. That jerk. Okay, so we're going to come in here. Get all of that. Let's see here. We'll just toss some other ladder right there to make sure they can get there. Then I've heard that there might be stuff buried in these things, so we'll definitely check that out. No, we won't go that high. Want to be able to stand 4 high so that we can peel out all of this. Mafic rock. I've never seen mafic rock below the surface, so that's kind of cool. So let's see. These are. We're gonna have to cancel right there so that they can get up. We can go down though, for sure. Okay, things are popping up over here. Damage overheated. What is damage overheated? Oh, yep, we didn't build that liquid pump out of gold. How hot is this? It's spicy. So we definitely need to deconstruct it. So hold on. I just gave everyone access, but not everyone is at a health point total, I would imagine, to actually safely go in there. Everybody healed up? Yeah, severe wounds. Let's go ahead and just build a med bay. It won't be the end of the world. We can put it over here. So we're going to cancel those 2 tiles, or 3, whatever, you know. We're just going to allow that airflow to continue beyond these doors. And this one really needs to be built. So I think we'll go right here. We'll throw a door. We'll just see if this room is too big or not. I can always move. Well, I guess it won't tell us that. Okay, that's 16 and then another 40. So it's going to be 56. That should be an adequate size for a med bay. A hospital now. Yeah, it's below 96. It's much smaller than 96. Requires a toilet. Does not have to be a plumbed toilet. You can just put a plumbed toilet in there and not run any plumbing to it, and it will qualify. A mess table and then medical equipment. So we'll go ahead and blueprint all this out. So plumbing is where we'll get a lavatory. Just toss that back in the corner. Furniture is where we'll find that mess table. And then medicine is where we'll find the triage cot. Accelerates health restoration and the healing of physical injuries. Put that one right there. Okay, I'm not sure what we're going to do with this area, but it can also be defined here. Okay, do we have any buddy bud yet? Because I definitely want to uproot this and uproot this and put in some buddy bud for those lovely floral scents. Okay, so we're going to take this. We're going to copy its settings down here. Now we're going to deconstruct this one. And yep, we're full on carbon dioxide now. So we will have not food refrigeration, but food preservation. How can these lack... Oh, they're lacking water. Okay. Yep, we're full on out of water now. So let's go ahead and deconstruct that. We can deconstruct. So we actually don't want to deconstruct these. That'll just let the water fall on the ground. We're going to use the empty pipe tool, and that will put the water into bottles that are usable. The electrical, though, I don't need any of this electrical anymore. And if we break this tile, that'll spill that water, so we can mop that up. Excellent. Less excellent. Oh, a shine bug got in there. This is not supposed to be open. Oh, we opened it because there was a shine bug in there, and then we never shut it again. I remember that now. There. Now shine bugs can't get in and out. Okay. I've decided, because of how many injured people we have, I'm going to put another cot, but eventually I'm going to remove that cot, as we definitely will want higher-end medical machines eventually. All right, we're going to copy settings up here to the ones they've completed. Bump these up to priority 6. Oh, they are already are priority 6, so we're just waiting for some people to come by and do the work. We've given them other priority 7 things to work on, so I'm not surprised. We're not creating enough oxygen, but we are keeping enough oxygen going to at least oxygenate important areas, for the most part. Eventually, when we have some oxygen systems, I'll probably be pumping oxygen to this side, so it will compress CO2. Thinking of that, let's deconstruct that and put in a pneumatic door so the CO2 can flow through these areas. Okay, we're also going to mop up these areas, and we're going to build that deodorizer. So without that deodorizer, we'll just continuously be propagating slime lung germs, and people passing through will perish due to the risk of slime lung. Let's do a vent search / volcano search. We found another one. So how will we access that one? Probably a ladder straight up would be the easiest way. I'm not going to mark that with any priority, but I do want it to happen. Yeah, they're saying they can't reach any of these, so why would that be? They can hop there, they can walk there. It seems 100% reachable to me. Ah, because they've been digging out this floor. Once these floor tiles are replaced, they'll be just fine. Okay, we have completed all assigned research projects. So now we'll go for these. Smelting will be handy. And we'll do all of the medicine tree next, so if someone does catch slime lung, we'll be able to cure them. Assuming we have the ingredients. We have not really been cultivating balm lilies or anything that would really be helpful. Okay, that pump is now officially broken from heat. Okay, let's go into priorities here and look at who is thinking about care, doctoring. They changed the name. So no skill, no skill, no skill, no skill, 3 skill. You will be the doctor, Stinky. And with the finishing of that, this is now a hospital. And sick duplicants assigned to a medical building within a hospital are less likely to spread their disease. A whole bunch of people are uneligible. That's strange. Huh. That's weird. I want to see Stinky here. Oh, what is going on here? Hypothermia, hungry, soggy feet. Low oxygen, chilly surroundings. Is our base too cold? That seems not likely. It seems very temperate. Very strange. Okay, got some of these out. We can plant our buddy buds now. Okay, buildings lack resources. We are running out of water again. Okay. Speaking of ball millies, let's get a seed. Okay. So as far as that plumbing goes, nope, wrong one. They have emptied all of these out. Deconstruct the liquid pump. Let's go ahead and set this block destruction to 7. So, we have a clean water issue in the fact that we have none. We are cleaning water, but that water that we're cleaning is full of germs, I believe. Ooh, slime lung over here even. Okay. Well, let's bring a deodorizer over here to deal with that. Well, let's set it one more tile in because eventually I'm going to put walls there and deodorizer there will annoy me. Okay, we have multiple trees that are ready for harvest, but just no one to do that. Polluted oxygen has moved up, and so have the slime lung germs, so that's great. Now we have a space to put a deodorizer to be effective. Back when the oxygen was here and it was just kind of everywhere, I was like, oh, I don't want to place that yet. They still can't reach these areas. They haven't built those yet. Oh, because over here they haven't built those. Alright, we're just going to turn this whole floor to an 8 because as it stands, we're not even getting our bonus because this is too big now. These openings have made this not a room. So this floor just needs to happen. As far as the buddy buds go, decor could be better. But when we go into germs, now we have these nice floral germs floating around. Yep. So they don't float left-right as much as I would have thought they would. Or maybe we just need more time to let them, but people will be happier that they're getting those nice floral scents. So this is alternating room, not room, depending on how many tiles are between their, build or not built spot. Wow, it takes them a long time to build stuff out of metal. I'm so used to 400 or 500 cycle that everything just builds instantaneously. It's interesting to come back and see what it's like in the interim. Okay, all foods, medicines, cooked ingredients are taken care of. Last little bits of oil need to be taken care of. Okay, now we can also mop up these last little bits of water. I don't think they'll be able to stand on those. So we're going to cancel some strategic spots here. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So we can put some scaffolding in for the dupes to build these floors from below. Okay, so these are not assigned, and I'm confused as to why people can't be assigned to it. So am I supposed to, we need to see Stinky. In the past, you assigned a duplicate who was injured, and they would go be treated. Oh, and he has slime lung. But yep, it's not lethal. It's -3. athletics, it's not going to kill him. So they didn't make it lethal again. And smelled flowers reduces stress. So that's nice. So bio caregiver. He has good bedside manner and a healing touch. So maybe he's ineligible because he's not hurt. Maybe they've just given us that quality of life that only injured people can go there. So let's look at Ada and Catalina. Ada has severe wounds. So yeah, let's assign Ada. Let's also just go ahead and assign Catalina. We're going to up these priorities to 8 so people just get in there and get treated. Yeah, Catalina looks pretty darn injured. And Nisbet has decided to come help them. Okay, Jean is suffocating, which is strange because she is able to breathe polluted oxygen. You can breathe that. Whoa. Oh, Jean died right there? I'm very confused about that. Poor Jean. Suffocated. Suffocated next to a ladder. I can think of no reason why she would have suffocated there. She could have just gone up and breathed polluted oxygen. There you have it. Mark it, timestamp it. Our first duplicate death has occurred. I think we'll end up putting the graveyard area just down in this area. Seems like a reasonable spot to have it. We just have to protect ourselves from hydrogen and chlorine first. You can also put it just right here by the oxygen creation. That wouldn't hurt anything. So yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll go into medicine, tasteful memorials. We'll leave this for a decor spot. Wonder what that's occupied by. It must be a plant of some sort. So we'll plan to have 5 people pass away. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's the space we will allot. Maybe we'll do a large granite statue there, the double wide one. Poor Jean. Very confused as to why she suffocated so close to oxygen. Now that's built, these all need to be delivered with filtration medium or they will do nothing to benefit us. Luckily, we have got all that slime lung sorted to a couple specific areas. Oh, they did get in here and do some digging. Oh, wow, we've let a lot more hydrogen in than I realized. Right. They're supplying that with sand, so now we're getting actual oxygen. It's wonderful. Alright, these guys are healing up and are mourning. So, on the positive side, we do get to take a new duplicant to replace Jean. Alright, so Nisbet wants to get up here to... Oh, you don't even have the skills. Okay. You would love to be a farmer, but if we made you a farmer, you'd be too stressed. You could be a researcher and not be too stressed. It would up your intelligence. Lindsay, Ada. So neither of our... I wonder who died then. Was it... Oh, if it was our digger, we're in a tough spot. Who has digging? Yep, it was our digger. Okay. So we need to hire a new digger. But in the meantime, we need some people to learn digging. Oops. I didn't look close enough. She has nowhere near the morale she needs for that. But It should just be a factor that the last time she ate, she didn't have access to this room to really get it going. Oh, and we built a pip into a tile. All right. That pip's just going to live there forever then, I guess. Oh, look at all those mushrooms. Wonderful. Thinking of mushrooms. Let's go ahead and get in there and grab those. Is there any other easy mushrooms we could grab? Oh, let's just do a full search for vents. And if we notice some mushrooms that are easy to get, that one's too hard. It's way too far away. Found that one. Well, that's just abyssalite. It's of varying temperatures. There's a buddy bud, which would be nice. There's a dust cap. That one wouldn't be terribly hard to get, so we could think about that one. That is neutronium. There's one right here. Ooh, and it's right on the way to that dust cap, so that's handy. All right, so let's do a ladder. Oh, the derp. The derp is strong with me today. Okay, so we'll do a ladder to there. Let's dig out that spot and that spot. Hopefully, one of these new printables is somebody who loves to mine. Okay, there's an excavation with a bottomless stomach, but they're buff, they're good with machines, and they're germ resistant. This feller here has mole hands. He's a loud sleeper. So here's our choices. We can take somebody who has +3. They both have +3, but we also get machinery and buff. So I guess I'll take this one. Our food's not in a bad spot, so we won't die to lack of food. So we'll take her. She should start with a skill point. So we'll make May our digger and give her a hard hat. Catalina needs more morale before we can do anything with her. So we're going to drain that little area. And then we're going to dig this way. Grab that buddy bud. Ooh, and a dust cap we didn't notice. And a dusk cap and a fungal spore. And we can auto harvest these things. You know what I think I'll do? I think I'll dig out some gold because we need more gold. And we'll try to spread out this liquid a little bit so that hopefully we can mop it up. All right, that's going to get us to another vent. Fungal spores, 2 of them, 2 dust caps in here. Not terribly easy to get to, especially since we can't dig through abyssalite right now because our digger passed on. It's a natural gas vent we know about. We should start utilizing that sooner rather than later. We can't get to this now. It's going to be about 12 cycles before our new digger is trained up well enough to actually dig for us through all the hardened things we need them to dig. Okay. Still little bits of polluted oxygen, but for the most part, we're mainly oxygen on this end. Over here, looks like we've pretty much cleaned up the polluted oxygen. So that stuff will all start dying out. We don't need this little slickster spot anymore. But we are probably leaking heat. Not badly yet, but we are leaking heat through this area. So we don't need that anymore or that anymore. They were able to build all the things I wanted them to. We've got our gold pumps and our gold power plant about ready. So soon, folks, we will be creating a lot more polluted oxygen. We're short 1 acorn for that. I don't like uneven floors. It's one of my OCD things. Okay, yep, they got all that mopped up. Realized if I cancel that, we can build more floor without scaffolding or ceiling, whatever your perspective is. Okay. Gene is still unhealthy, so we'll get Gene in here. That means everyone but Gene could go in here and deconstruct this and then quickly rebuild it out of gold. We could also see if they can hopefully get those tiles built. Yep, they are quickly getting scalded. I'm gonna build this out of gold amalgam this time. See if they can dig any of that out. I thought Jean had passed away. Can we bring her back by putting on her cot? Because that would be neat, but I find that hard to believe. Jean is still down there, unfortunately. But it is nice that we can click on her and we can see what her actual skills were. Skill points are being earned. That's lovely. Uh-oh, incapacitated. Okay, we are going to stop these efforts. We need to get these people out of here. You may leave, but you may not come back in. Heat struck. Hopefully you can get out before you become incapacitated. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Wonderful, okay. All right. This is really just not necessary, so... get that done. So that was kind of foolhardy. Oh, they didn't get the frickin' pump built. That's like the one thing I really needed to happen. But I didn't up its priority, so that's why it didn't. Next time we go in. That fellow is very slow. All right, let's get one of these done so we have a place to put Jean. Okay, this is our problem area that we haven't addressed for slime lung yet. This area is good. We can deconstruct that. As far as polluted oxygen goes, there's still a few bits that need to work their way up. So we'll leave that one there. And then up here, slime lung, is it propagating or something? It's dying on that gas, okay. So it's a matter of just about here. So we can build like one tile right here, break those tiles if possible, and put another deodorizer right there. And that should finish off our polluted oxygen. They managed to get in the base from slime sitting around and nasty water sitting around. The only bit of nasty water is right there. The hydrogen is working as a de facto gas stop for the moment. So I think we can break those and mop that up so we don't have any more polluted oxygen generate. Looks like there's some polluted oxygen down here, probably off-gassing from here. Okay, I don't want this open. I want that set to auto. Okay, everything in here is built, so that's awesome. Now we can excavate the rest of this. Really don't need that or that. Start cleaning up this area. I like nice clean areas. I don't really like all the stone and stuff that just lays about. Oh, we're creating more copper. It is heating up, but we're not boiling the water instantaneously yet, so that's positive. Over here, some heat is leaching through, so I guess we'll put another airlock there just to kind of slow it down, hopefully, a little bit. Okay, they got that built. They'll still need that, probably. Alright, what do we have skill point-wise? Catalina. Okay, she is eaten again and is much happier than before. So, we'll make her better at farming. Food is important. We've run out of things that Stinky loves to do. So we don't have a doctor, and Stinky is the only one who has any skill at it. His medicine is 3, so we'll make Stinky the doctor. Get these trees going and being harvested. It's a 7, yet no one seems to care. Okay, this bed is unassigned, so let's get May in there. Priorities on those beds are still very high. Would like this done, please. Still plenty of things for these dupes to do. No short supply of that. Things for dupes. Ugh, I can't draw a straight ladder for my life. So what we're gonna do basically is we're gonna dig all this out. We're just gonna make a nice big polluted water reservoir. We'll take those. And I think we're going to cancel those. We're going to drop this ladder down all the way in order to get to this area. Oops, that needs to be a floor. Which means, well, basically none of this is going to be a floor. We'll just have to scaffold the whole way through. That sand is going to fall down and not allow us to actually access most of that area. Just strip mine the whole lot of this. Make a nice big water tank. Got another base over there. Well, that's what a water weed looks like when it grows. That's kind of neat. I haven't seen one of those grown up before. Okay. Got another blueprint. Oh. Spicy tofu would be some really high-level food, but this actual mushroom, while much less useful in the long run, is much more useful right now. Okay, we've burned through a couple thousand kilograms, or a couple tons there, but things are going pretty well. Normally I like to let skill points build up for a couple people, but since we really need a few of these people to become high-level diggers, I'm going to spend him faster than normal. Okay, this dude has insane amounts of morale, so he's going to become a mechatronics engineer, which means we can start automating things, which would be great if we had the time and duplicate labor to do it, which we just don't have right now. But it's something we will definitely get working on, and sooner rather than later. Okay, we have cleaned quite a bit of this, but it's still pretty gnarly in here, slime lung-wise. This thing's not running because no one's delivering any filtration medium to it. But once we get this polluted oxygen taken care of, our base should primarily just be finished as far as clearing out the slime lung within our borders. All right, dust caps everywhere. Okay. And a 7 on this dust cap too. Just try to get in here and get these dust caps going. Might as well get a little bit more gold. Oh, there we go, metal ore. 14 tons, we're doing good on gold, but when you start doing big projects, gold runs out pretty darn fast. And as far as floral scents go, I thought it would go outward more, but it likes to go up quite a lot. But it just means the farmers are going to breathe it more. And it's all over the spots where we actually have seats built, so everyone should get a little bit of a boost from smelling floral stuff. I'm getting sick of that. I definitely want this to start going. So what we need is we need to get this rolling. And the only thing missing right now is power. So, power-wise, we've got this fella right here. We'll bring it down and connect it in to a manual generator to start the process. Once it's started, it'll be self-sustaining. We need to get this stuff all tied into our main power setup, so I'm gonna have to dig a bunch of this stuff out. So we're gonna go into power. We need transformers. That's actually one tile too high. And derp. So these can drop. Transformers need to be built right here. 3 will be sufficient to start, I think. Bring them up and over. I don't normally have transformers inside my base proper. Might move these later, but this will get things started for us. So I'm going to take one up into this, just below the ceiling, because I don't want to break that tile. We'll take one. I'll build a bridge there. Right here. And we'll take one through here. Alright, so now we have to kind of parse out how we're going to be supplying the power to the base. These are all going to be created within. So that's all itself, but like we can drop this one like that, which is awkward, I know, but I can always move it later. And then that can come back and supply that one. So what we'll do is we'll break this off. We'll take this one to there. And that's going to supply this guy here, and it can do all the science stuff. Then we'll have a third one we can bring over for something else. So this will get us started. We also don't have battery banks. So let's go ahead and come over here a little bit. We are going to want to build a little area where we can store power and a smart battery to control if we have too much power to stop creating power. So smart battery here is going to be our first dip into automation now. Automation is basically the ability to program our things to do or not do as we see fit. And I can explain that better once they've built this room out. We're also going to need this stuff built out here, lickety split. I don't want to knock those up to 7 and prioritize those plants above other really important things. So as it stands, we just stopped our water from being able to be processed, so not great. But hopefully they'll get all this done for me real quick, and it won't be a long-term problem. And they are zipping through it, so I think we'll be okay. Okay, fine. I'll knock all this up to 7 as well. I'll just knock it back down to 6 when we're done. Yeah, they can really zip through stuff if they put their minds to it. Plumbing-wise, we have quite a bit of clean water. We should be able to make it through until we get this power system set up. But if you were more conservative than I am, you could build all of this stuff before you disconnect any wires. That would be safer. All right, we're going to put all of these back to 6, including that guy. So the smart battery, we can set it to send an off signal at a certain amount of power stored, and we can set it to turn an on signal when a certain amount of power is stored. So what we'll do is we'll say, if you have 90% full, stop making power. But if you only have 60% full, begin making power. And that will help us not create more power than we can use and burn through our resources faster than we need to. We're looking pretty good over here. Just a couple more power lines to connect. Oh, we never built our bridge, though. A wire bridge. That did not work. The reason why a wire bridge is necessary there is if I just ran it straight through, we would be interconnecting this spot with 2 different transformers, and it would overload. So that bridge just says hop over that connection point. So we have 2 independent lines, independent from each other, so they won't overload, because these wires are only rated to 1 kilowatt or 1,000 watts. If we try to send more through it, they will break and cause problems. Oh, and as far as batteries over here, they're not going to store any power unless we connect them. There. Now the system is all set. Being that that's only 3 high, they should be able to reach all of that. printables. We can have shine nymphs or we can have pufflets. I'd rather have more shine nymphs. And they did get Gene put in a tasteful memorial. There's all that shipping stuff we can build now because we have a mechatronics engineer. So mechatronics engineer will allow us to build shipping stuff. We can't here, we didn't leave enough space for that, but like, let's say we could. We could put one of these, just getting the real name of it, auto sweepers right here. And the auto sweeper has a certain range. So the auto sweeper will pick up every single thing in this range. And then we could use a loader and we could tell it what to actually pick up. And we'd tell it wood. And it would sweep up all the wood in its range. And we'd build tracks and we would ship that wood along the tracks over to here, where we could then either dump it on the floor with a chute or send it to a receptacle and a second auto sweeper. And the auto sweeper would either pick up the wood off the floor and load it into the distiller, or would pick it up out of the receptacle and put it in the distiller. And that would just mean that our dupes wouldn't have to walk back and forth and load this themselves. Okay, so we are at a point now where we can start creating power. It's because we're just jump starting the system. Once we create some ethanol, the ethanol will burn and then create power for the system. Okay, everyone's ineligible to sit in there again, so that's good. Everyone's healed up. Okay, we are creating ethanol, so now we can disable this building. So we don't have enough ethanol, so I guess we should not disable this building. Oh, it's also disabled by the automation grid. So here's something you need to know about the automation grid is once something's plugged in there, if it's not receiving an active signal, it's automatically red. So if you wanted this to run before this battery was built, you would have to break this tile right here and only connect this once the battery's ready to roll. But we are building up ethanol here so that when it can go, it will. We are going to have to set a higher priority on these. If they don't load the lumber in there, we won't be making the fuel, and then we'll run out of power. But our goal is for them to overproduce the ethanol and then turn themselves off because they can't make any more, so that we don't have that particular issue. There we go. So now we can program our smart battery. And I think we're going to do just what I said earlier. If you hit 90, turn off. If you hit 60, turn on. Now you can see the whole deal. This is turned on. The battery's saying create more power because it's not charged enough. When we're creating power, we're dropping polluted oxygen down, that polluted water down. When the polluted water's dropped down, it's sucked up and sent back to the trees. The trees need the polluted water to grow, so they grow and create more wood that we burn in the distiller. When we burn wood in the distiller, we use power and create ethanol. We burn the ethanol to create power to make more ethanol and feed the wood. So we've got a nice closed system here now. And we can also disable this because our smart battery is now managing when we should or should not make power, and we have ethanol building up so that when we should be making power, we automatically will. So there we have it. This should keep us running for another 30 or 40 cycles, but after that we are going to have to add more power. And the next thing I want to add into our power infrastructure is probably this natural gas geyser. Right now it's probably overpressure and just isn't creating more natural gas. But if we start pumping it out and making natural gas power with it, then it can release more and be a renewable resource for us. I also want to see if we can't get in here and get this stuff done real quick before we have any other heat stroke issues. That scalding is starting pretty fast. This is the thing I care the most about, so I'm going to knock it up to a 9. Heat stroke is already hit. And of course they're doing everything but the one I said I want the most. Everyone's getting scalded. This is not great. But all I need is for you guys to finish building this right here, and I'll be happy. Come on. This is another thing we can pump out to the petroleum generator and create more power. So it's good to get this renewable resource set up. Okay. Yep, and there we have it. Someone's become incapacitated. So I'm going to knock these priorities down. Not that they care. Okay, they did get the incapacitated person out. Alright, we're not going to let them in anymore. Alright guys, this video went a little bit longer than I had hoped, but I did want to finish up this project, and I'm glad we did. So thanks for joining us on Glider Gaming. I hope you had some fun in the glider cage. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you have any tips or anything for me, I do like to hear how to improve as a player of this game. And there we have automated building using sensors or switches from the automation tab. Hooray! Have a good one. Bye-bye.